Happy Monday, Practice community members. Welcome to this week's Monday message. This week, we're going to talk about program design. This is a lead in over the next few weeks to get you thinking about your own program design inside of your coaching practice or process. A way to begin thinking about coaching is so much more than selling time with you. I think when we get stuck in the trap of time or time for dollars or selling time as the primary process that people are purchasing, there's a cap. There's a cap on what you can charge. There's a cap on how inspired time can be when we stop speaking to what happens inside of that process and not the minutes of that process. So this week and next week, I want to share different ways to look at program design. Today, we're going to talk about how to design programs 101. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about why most coach programs fail. I want to show you and highlight some of the things I see coaches do well-intentioned, but not always successfully in designing programs for your clients to go through. And then on June 12th, we are doing a 4-hour live coach program design workshop led by me via Zoom, so you can take it from anywhere in the world. And that is a pay what you can workshop. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at the details of that or get registered, I have some information in this class today. So really quickly, before I dive into it, why don't we first define what a program is? So a program is the thing that your clients enroll in when they become your client. And if you have them just enrolling in coaching, then they are purchasing a tool, but they can't live inside of the tool. The tool is a thing that builds the new house they're going to live in. And if you don't speak to or create with your process the house itself, you're going to have a harder time than necessary selling your work because your clients aren't buying time. And one of the biggest mistakes I see new and seasoned coaches make is they try to sell their time. Well, time with you, while wonderful, has a price cap. There's only so much a client is going to be willing to pay per minute for their transformation. However, when people are buying transformation, regardless of the time, that's where the sky is the limit. So how to design powerful programs? First, you need a purpose. Defining the what is more important than defining the who. Or if you're spending any ounce of energy or effort trying to think about your niche or the psychological characteristics of the people who are going to buy, or the even worse, the problems that people are having, and you're lighting those up on purpose, we're getting really bogged down in the weeds of the who. I am more interested in the what. Your what is a beacon, and it's a light that you can turn on that people will naturally gravitate to. You also need to define why this and why now. Why this work in this way, in this capacity, for what purpose at this time in life. Basically, create a defense. I want you to answer the question, why? Why your program? Why now? And last, every piece of your program needs to have real function in that place for people to actually be transformed by it. What I mean by that is don't throw a bunch of add-ons for the sake of add-ons. Don't put together a program with journal writing and book reading and retreats and workshops and classes and content and meditations and podcasts and music playlists and exercises. And I'm running out of breath because that is not a program. That is a compilation of tools that has the illusion of programming. Programming is a particular pathway you're going to move your clients through. There's a specific process for a very specific purpose that people are going to come through your work for. And the tools, all the things I just listed and more, shouldn't be there as the program. They should be there to enhance the process of the program. So you need to really define the function of everything you add into your programming. Second, you need structure. While you're not selling time, time does matter. And I don't recommend you have open-ended, ambiguous timeframes. Don't say we'll coach for as long as it takes. Don't say your session times are as infrequent or frequent as you want. While we think we're giving the client autonomy, what we're actually giving them is a lack of predictability. And when it comes to change in the future, if it's not as predictable as possible, knowing that change in the future is not predictable, we have to create some of that safety net through things like time. So there is a sweet spot for every program, both the frequency of the sessions, the time of the physical sessions, as well as the length of the program, so that the overall timing of the work. And last, structure is really about clarity. And as Brene Brown said in Dare to Lead, clear is kind. Being clear gives people a piece of discernment and an ability to make a choice from themselves and not get swept up in your marketing. So structure creates clarity. Clarity is kind. Third, pricing. There's an art to pricing your programs. And if they're not buying time, what are they going to purchase? Stop charging by the hour and stop charging by the session. I can look at my business and tell you exactly the amount of money I'm going to make in December of this year. Well, that's 7 months from now. How do I have the ability to predict my income that far in the future? With recurring revenue. And we don't get recurring revenue by the session. We have to have people enrolled in agreements wrapped around a process inside of a program that they can pay for in chunks. So my clients can pay by the month. That's a chunk, but they are paying for, make no mistake about it, the entire thing at some point. So start charging for knowing their problem better than they do, and stop charging for the time they spend with you. The container, there's a container to your program. These are things like clear agreements, clear and spoken expectations, no guessing around payments, scheduling, delivery, communication, confidentiality, all of that stuff. The details are important, because if the details aren't spoken to, it can distract from your client's process, because they're stuck thinking about when they're going to get their next session. They're not worried about transformation until they know that they're safe to even get the transformation delivered to them. If this has piqued your interest and you want more where this came from, then join us this month in my Coach Program Design workshop. This is a 4-hour live workshop on June 12th. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks. That is a Friday. We're going to meet from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time with a little break in the middle. That workshop is 5 classes packed into those 4 hours. And again, I'm delivering that completely live. And the best thing is that is a pay what you can workshop. You could pay $1, no kidding. You could pay $1,000. I don't care the amount you pay. I care that you invest the amount that you know will warrant your ability to show up and get what you need from this workshop. So here are the classes I'm going to teach in that event. Number 1, the do's and don'ts of program design. Why you don't sell time and what you do sell. If you don't sell hour to hour or session to session, then what do you sell? What you must elicit from the client before the work begins. Why your clients don't ever determine their pace, timing, frequency of the work. Why you outline their problem to solution pathway up front. What you assume about the client's future before you begin the work, and so much more. That's just the first design shop. Design shop number 2, finding your program's purpose. Why defining the what is more important than the who, and how to define the what. What are the most and least purchased types of coaching? I'm sorry to say there are some that will fare better in the marketplace. What's the purpose of your program and how best can you deliver that purpose? I'll tell you right now, it's not through facts and figures or bullet points. Why the most effective and I think the most purchased coaching has to be delivered live. When to add on experiences or resources and when not to, when less is actually more. And how to diversify your program from one offering into 5. I can show you how to take one basic program idea and diversify it into 5 different products. In our third design shop, we're going to talk about structuring your program. I'm going to give you 3 time models that are really successful. And what I mean by time model is the length of the program itself. I'm going to teach you how to choose the right number of minutes for your sessions, and then what to do if a client misses a payment. What if they miss a session? What if they cancel late? What if they have unused sessions at the end of their program? Sometimes we get lost in the details, and I don't want you to get bogged down on the back end by things that you didn't think about in the beginning of that program design. In our fourth design shop, we'll talk about the art of pricing your program, how to price your program, and how to not price your program. I have a very easy and simple calculation I use, and I guarantee it will surprise you. It will not likely be a thing you've ever done for pricing your business. What is clear and unclear pricing? There's some language you need to be using. Should you give a discount, a scholarship, or provide a sliding scale? It's a personal choice, but if you do, let me teach you how to do it effectively. How to work with payment plans and why recurring revenue is your new best friend. Why having two program options sells one program better. There's some math involved and there's some statistics that I want to teach you about why we need to have not just one option, but two, even if we just want to be selling the one. I know it sounds like a paradigm, but it does work. In our fifth design shop, I will take you behind the scenes of program design. Things like, what is a client disclosure agreement? Why do you need one? Payment tools I personally use, how they work, how to integrate them into your business, how to manage your first pay in full. As exciting as they are, do not be taking all that cash home in a single month. Why scheduling is your client's job and not yours. And then some things like tracking sessions, agreements, payments, keeping your program organized, keeping your tracking organized so you're never wondering how many sessions a client has left, as well as upselling and what happens at the end of an agreement. How do you keep people in coaching? We'll talk about that as well. In addition to all of the 4 hours of live instruction, which is via Zoom, so you can join from anywhere in the world, I will also give you a full download of all the PDFs I use to teach the content, worksheets from each design shop to bring your program to life, lifetime access to the workshop because I'm going to upload it into the practice community at the end of that weekend so you can have access to it forever. And then of course live Q&A during the workshop if there's anything that you want to get some more support around. If you're not able to attend live but you want this, please register. Again, the cost is pay what you can. So you pay what you can. If you can't attend the whole thing or part of it completely on the day, then you were going to get lifetime access. I'm not going to teach this again. The whole purpose of teaching this live is so that I can do it with accountability and engagement. I think it makes for a better course, and then I can upload it as a course. And I'll sell it down the road, but not at a pay what you can price. I'll set the price in the future. So if you want to get it for an amount that you can truly afford today, that's what I recommend, and you don't ever have to worry about how do I get access to that in the future. All right, guys, happy Monday, happy June, happy almost solstice. And wherever you are in your work, in your world today, I hope that you are taking some of this information to your business. And I also hope to see you in that design workshop on June 12th. Link is below to register. Happy Monday.